Alright, pardon me. I'm going to make a little coffee too. Leave the stream up here for a second while I make coffee. It's a little first thing in the morning for me. Considering that I'm a night person. Let me put on a little bit of music for you guys while I get this coffee made, and just so I can enjoy my morning. If you don't like it, just skip ahead. Either that or kiss my ass, whatever works. Whatever works for you. Hopefully it didn't break the stream into 2 pieces, and it might have. Whatever. Let's see here. How about, I could probably use a little Vivaldi. Help me think it out. Takes me a minute to wake it up. Kind of worthless without my coffee. I'm a little worthless without my coffee. Let's see. All these playlists and stuff are public, so you guys can have access to that. This is what I want this morning. Alright, I'm back. Man, I'm getting a little fat too, I tell you. I'm mostly vegetarian at this point, but some old habits die hard, and I make a pretty good bacon carbonara. I want to eat that. I have like an ileus for days from a surgery I had years ago, and I probably shouldn't eat such delicious things. Should but man, I just don't know when to stop. All right, let's get on with it. While this coffee cooks up. All right, so we were on this fire enchant blue here, so let's copy that. We had already done that. I just lost my concentration. Okay. And let's see. This is where I had borrowed the initial pulse effects. And that's what we're gonna do. Just gonna add a couple of things here. Okay, so for the explosive, for the pulse charge, it wouldn't be under projectile because that's actually the projectile that you throw. It would be under explosion or object effect. Here we go. And effects. There must be one way to add another effect. Spawn, stagger, light. Energy damage, enchant. I want to add an additional effect here. Without any conditions. Could be how many flags? How could it be? How could it be? More conditions, more flags, more effects. Maybe I need to do a little bit more thinking, a little bit more exploring. Okay. Explosion, pulse charge, and the energy damage here. Energy damage, flags. I want to add another effect is what I really want to do here. And I'm scared to modify this because it might knock off my number of enchantment effects. Costs, charge time, enchant, base enchantment, null reference. What I really want to do is under here, under this base, electrical always, I want to add an additional top effect here. I wonder if I can move that to the top. I mean, it shouldn't have any, it runs from top to bottom, so it shouldn't make any difference. At all. So let's do this enchantment blue fire here. Okay, so it expected an MGEF. So it would be under explosion. Try this. Cannot be mapped. I don't want to add a condition. Voice type electrical. And basically all these conditions here are modifying are the magnitudes on different types of creatures. And the paralyzing effects that it would have. So I might be getting a little overboard here. Let's check explosion. That's where the object effect is going to be in. This is where I need to make these modifications. I think I want to reverse these from 500 here on robots, mole rats, bugs, dogs, synths, mirelurks, and then the paralysis on these things. and then the extra damage on the turret. So let's make this, let's drop this to 750. Drop this to 800. And let's raise this to 1,000. Hopefully that'll work. And I'm not even going to worry about pickpocket stuff because I haven't been dropping remote explosives as pickpocket stuff because sneaking is very, very difficult. And PANPC. So I guess we're going to see how this works. It should definitely increase the power pretty significantly. At 1,000 base of electrical. $800 on these types. And then plus the paralysis, and then the base explosion being would just ordinarily be 5 with a force of 750 in a radius. So it's basically doing almost pure electrical damage. And if I get a little daring, I might add that LEAR effect. But for now, I think I'm going to remove it. Oh, here I remove masters. So this actually does need to have better explosives redo master. I know that. Which is getting kind of bizarre because I'm not seeing it. Might be looking right at it. Oh, there it is. Boom. Boom. So it didn't remove it. So that should, as far as I'm aware, increase the power of the detonated pulse charge. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Other things I need to get around and play with is some leveled list injections. But I'm only going to be able to do that when I've finally decided on all the weapons I want to fully add into the game. Pare it down. I like to, you got to pare it down to as low as you want to go, and then I'm going to try and bundle everything to match the way that I've modified the damages for better locational damage. VISG. I mean, there's a lot of things included in these patches. That make it a better playing experience. So hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to get to bundle all these things for you guys, and then that way you can just basically have the same kind of setup that I have. I'm just going to save this as it is and back up my plugin. And I'll think about, adding LEAR, the laser assisted electrical rifle, as a master to add some of those effects. And I definitely needed to do some stuff with the FN-FAL. See, right now all I did was put the patches on it to try and get them to read properly in VISG. But what I really want to do is add some additional receivers. That would be in like 7.62 millimeter. So I could try that now. I don't really need the kukri in it. But let me go ahead and see if I can add a 7.62 millimeter receiver real quick. So I'm just going to take the basic receiver advanced. And the important part is to take a look at what ammo it fires. It should be 308. So let's take the let's see what the Hardened G series is all about. Old Hardened. I want Old Hardened. Here's the weapon base. It's going to tell us ammunition type and the bullet impact sets. .308 caliber. So I'm kind of debating on whether or not it would be good to add the receivers as a whole new weapon, or as like a separate plugin, and copy these and then copy some of the mods and turn it into 7.62 millimeter. I'm really gonna have to examine that against what's already been done in things like the G36, how you have the 7.62 millimeter, how they've done it here to expand. Converted, form ID, handmade round 306 as part of the property. Now, hopefully, more experienced modders already come out and kind of expanded on that a little bit, because having receivers for this FN-FAL model in 5.56 and 7.62 will fill out every weapon from the HK 33 to the let me pull my little book here. Oops. Pull my little book here. Pull everything from the HK33, which is a 7.62 millimeter, to the PSG1, which was that lower one. That's a 7.62. To the HK33 on the top, which is a 5.56. See, all the models and everything are the same. It's just a matter of putting in a few more receivers outside of 308. The only ones that I can find that are like 308 is like the FN-FAL, because there were a lot of different weapons made on the FN-FAL frame. Like you even the models have that that lower model there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That would be the SIG 7.5 millimeter SG57, which I think is pretty damn near what the gun was based off of, and that's actually what's named in the mod itself. But it actually fires a 7.5 millimeter, which is close enough to 7.62 by 39 millimeter, which is a Soviet cartridge. But when you're dealing with Fallout, you know, like, I hate loads of ammo and all these different fucking weird calibers and shit, when many other different types of things that will suffice. Just like adding a 4570 to the hunting rifle is a brilliant way to go, and adding a 7.62 millimeter to the hunting rifle is a brilliant way to go. And all you really would have to do for that is I mean, even this type 89 here, there's just so many different weapons that were kind of based on the FN-FAL frame. And this one's in 5.56 millimeter. But I mean, you even see the configuration that I like to use in the last episode that I made. I called her Lucy, because but it's chambered in 308, and I'd rather have it chambered in 7.62 millimeter. Trying to find an example of one that would be closer to 308, like the standard FN-FAL Model 50 is in 7.62 millimeter. I mean, the really old version was damn near 308 with 0.28 inch rifle from Belgium, but that was way old. That was like the precursor. That was like one of the early models. But see, here's the Enfield 7.62 L39A1, which could easily be right there on the that's the lower picture. Easily be a 7.62 millimeter receiver on the hunting rifle. Here's the Model 58, which is from Spain. On the top there, that's a 7.62 millimeter. Again, very much based on the FN-FAL frame. It'd be very interesting, actually, too, to and these are all the different variants, which were done very, very well with the service rifle expansion project for all the different variants of the AR-15 platform, which run everything from the M16, M16A1, M16A2, the M16A3, M16A4, M231, the Colt Model 365, the Colt CAR-15, Colt Commando, the Colt Civil versions, which would be like the AR-15 or the AR-15A2 Sporter. So that's the kind of beauty that I'd like to add. Figure out a way to add to that FN-FAL base that was recently released. And then I guess there's always a way that SITREP could add a 12 gauge, like the Armalite AR-18, a 12 gauge receiver on a sort of like an AR-15 platform, which would be interesting. I'm sure it kicks like a fucking mule. The gun itself weighing only 5.6 pounds. Single barrel break open, manual. I mean, jeez Louise. I can't really imagine where that would be ultimately very practical, but now one guy did make an excellent Accuracy International L96A1 7.62 millimeter sniper rifle. The problem is when you're doing when you're sighting your scopes, you're sighting your weapons. There's a certain way that you have to do it, where you have to actually like set a cross on your screen and do them at different distances. Because I noticed that when I was firing with the Accuracy International, I wasn't getting precision hits, even when I was dead on. And I experimented with that rifle over and over and over again to try and figure out maybe if I was shooting above the target, below the target, if it was bullet drop. It was just the scope is a little bit off because the animations have it so it's not perfectly lined up, and that's a real shame. So, because it is such a wonderful rifle, I'd like to add it into the game. I love sniper rifles, but currently it's like the only ones that I really want in the game are the you know, the FN-FAL variants, which aren't quite proper. The Remington 700, which is brilliant, but could use those 2 additional calibers, and to put a 50 caliber receiver on that frame is ridiculous. And then the Fallout 4 New Vegas port 50 caliber rifle. So I know we've gone a little bit off target on this, pardon the pun, just away from the explosives modification. It's just going to take a little more time. But I know that there are people that are more experienced, because I'm more of on the playtest side than I am actually on doing the mods, and trying to actually find the different things that work to create, you know, the most intense combat experience. So if you guys, you know, see anything pop up over at Nexus Mods, please leave me a comment, and or shoot me an email, because sometimes YouTube is not very good about getting me my comments. And it's been Hank. I'll catch you on the flip side. Let me get an episode up, play it right now.